President of the United States, President Donald Trump, has redesigned Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Donald Trump stated this through his Twitter handle, which reads as follows: Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. But that is the least of it. When Christians or any group is slaughtered like is happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide, something must be done. I'm asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriation Committee, to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. We stand really ready, willing and able to save great Christian population. Donald Trump. Now, recently, the APC government sent officials to the United States to try to debunk this ongoing situation of Christian genocide in the North. So, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Issa, was on CNN yesterday to debunk the story, but obviously it didn't work out because US is working with statistics. The global figure of persecuted Christians in Nigeria alone as a country is 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide. So you can see the disparity in the figure. How can a country like Nigeria have about 3,100 Christians being persecuted as compared to the global figure of Christians that are being persecuted all over the world? That speaks volume that a lot is happening under the regime of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, yesterday was on CNN trying to debunk that story, but obviously it didn't work out because these guys are working with statistics, so they don't care about what you think or whatever it is. They work with statistics, and they've watched videos of many Christians that are being persecuted and all that. So the government needs to put its house in order and really face this security challenge by mobilizing troops around those regions to protect those communities. That's the only way to get out of this, not trying to create a false public image to make it seem like Nigeria is safe, the Christian communities are safe, nothing is happening. That's false. Let's take a listen at what Bala Mohammed said on CNN yesterday.
The claims made by some officials in the United States based on faulty data. Some of them, some assumptions that the victims of this religious violence are largely Christian. Yes, there are Christians that have been attacked, but these criminals do not just target one religion. They target Christians. Yeah. They also target Muslims. We have seen that in several parts of, especially the northern part of the country. So yes, indeed. We have security challenges in Nigeria, but we also have to recognize that there is a massive drive by government to ensure that Nigeria is ultimately safe for everyone. But for the records, we want to say that Nigeria is a very tolerant country when it comes to religion. We don't want these dangerous narratives to go on because criminal elements and some of these extremists are driving this narrative and pushing people to believe that Nigerian Muslims and Christians are fighting each other. This is not the case.
What does country of particular concern means? When a nation is labeled a country of particular concern by the United States, it simply means the US government believes there's a lot of systematic and ongoing freedom violations happening in that country. In simple terms, what that means is the government isn't protecting people's rights to worship freely. Now, Nigeria was on this list in 2020 and later removed under President Biden. Now, Trump renewed mention of Nigeria as a concern will ignite a lot of controversy and a lot of debate and a lot of deep diplomatic and economic consequences, because definitely this decision will have a ripple effect on Nigeria going forward. Now, over the past decade, Nigeria has faced a lot of, rising insecurity from Boko Haram attacks. Trump, known for his outspoken stance on religious persecution, has repeatedly highlighted Christian persecution in Africa, especially in Nigeria, over the few years. So when he names Nigeria as a country of concern, it's both a moral statement and also a political warning. Such a label can have a serious diplomatic consequences, and some of it could restrict military aid, suspend trade discussions, or slow down visa processing for Nigerian officials. It could also affect investors because they take cues from the US foreign policy. And this label can make Nigeria appear unstable or unsafe, and that would discourage a lot of foreign investors, foreign investment as a result of that. Now, there's a bit of human rights pressure too, in that Nigeria may face new demands from international bodies like the UN. So what does this really mean for Nigeria? Nigeria has to go through a process of rebuilding its image all over again. It must prove to the international community that it upholds freedom of belief for all, both the Muslims, Christians, and other religion alike. That means there must be stronger laws enforcement, fair justice for victims of violence, and policies that can protect religious minority. Now, the US may be watching to observe all this in place, and also the world will be watching too to see if Nigeria is able to come up with ideas on how to go about protecting its citizens' rights to worship freely. So Trump words carry more than just political weight. They carry a large international consequences. Whether you agree with him or not, Nigeria now stands at a crossroad. It is either we reform and prove its commitment to freedom, or risks isolation on the global stage. And nobody would want to do that. We want to comply to meet the global standard of freedom of worship for everyone, respect human rights, so that investors can trust us and it can give uh, an expression that we are secured and we are stable, so people can come in to invest and help our economy to grow. Unless the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration is able to take all this in good faith and work on the security nature of Nigeria and try to bring both religions of Christian and Muslim and every other religion together, I think Nigeria is not coming out of this anytime soon, and they have to prove that by providing adequate security in both Christian and Muslim communities, especially the Christian community, so that the notion of the Christian genocide will go down. If that doesn't happen, then I don't see us getting out of that list any moment from now. What do you make of all these things going on in Nigeria? Please comment. Let's have a conversation about that. Thank you.